Hello inspiring Charitam fans. How are you doing? We bring stories that are unique and inspirational. This story is about a betrayal by a friend who was like a brother and fiancé. Let's hear it. Ronito was in preschool when he and David were friends. David had a very troubled childhood. Ronito and his parents were there for him. David's father left his mom when he was just a kid. His mother was working on 2 jobs to support David, and he spent most of his time at Ronito's place. He was a second kid at Ronito's home. Ronito's father bought him gifts and even supported and partially funded his education. They grew up together and were more like brothers rather than friends. David was dating Liusla since high school. They were high school sweethearts. Liusla was extremely supportive of him too. David's mum was a very generous woman and was very happy to see his son as a happy adult. Ronito on the other hand was studying in arts. Both of them still lived near and frequently met, but they went to different universities. Ronito met June at his university. They started casually dating and soon, they fell for each other. For the next 3 years, things were quite good for everyone involved. David and Liusla got engaged and they were expecting their first child. David found a respectable job thanks to Ronito's father. June and Ronito also got engaged. They all used to have a great Christmas party on Boxing Day. But in 2018 February, everything changed. One night Liusla called Ronito, crying. She was inconsolable and Ronito hardly understood anything. David was out of town at that time, and Ronito figured there was something wrong with the newborn daughter. He rushed to her place, which was around 10 minutes from his place. Liusla did not open the door for quite a few minutes. He was panicking and was about to call the police when he heard a crack in the door. Liusla finally opened the door. She was a mess. It was evident that she had been crying for a long. A worried Ronito asked her what was wrong, but she could hardly say anything. All she could do was point the finger out to her laptop. When Ronito saw the laptop, he saw the Facebook profile of David was open. He read through some of the messages between David and June. He felt nauseous just by reading them. It was clear that they were having an affair, at least since Liusla was pregnant. Ronito could not believe his eyes. He could not comprehend that how could David do this to him? He was angry and wanted to call him immediately to confront him. But Liusla stopped him. It took almost half an hour or so for Liusla to come down. She explained that David was currently with June. Ronito knew June went to her home, but actually, they were together in a hotel in the nearby town. Liusla showed him the email copy of the hotel reservation of David. Liusla supported David when he had nothing. He came from a very bad place and Liusla pulled him up. There was a time when he didn't do anything, and Liusla financially supported him. June on the other hand came from a very conservative family. But her family loved Ronito and his family. Ronito also helped June with her education. She didn't have any loans, and Ronito basically was supporting her. Liusla accidentally found David's profile opened and their lives changed. It was clear from the messages, all they wanted was fun, and none of them were willing to leave their partners and were even planning their marriages with their respective partners. It was soul-crushing to see the messages. Ronito and Liusla didn't tell anyone and waited for them to come back from their vacation. A week later, Ronito announced that he had something very important to tell everyone and was planning a party for everyone. This was not unusual. They had family parties very often. June's parents were also invited. They have been to such parties a couple of times and they loved the hospitality of Ronito's parents. So, the day arrived, and everything looked amazing. Ronito, June, David, Liusla, their newborn, June's family, David's mother, Ronito's parents were present on the lawn of Ronito's parents' place. Everyone assumed that Ronito has decided on a wedding date or something like that. But, Ronito and Liusla stood together and told everyone what David and June have been doing. They apologized to everyone for inviting them and doing so, but this was in the best interest. They clarified that they did not want to humiliate the parents, but because they were so important part of their lives, they wanted to share the news with everyone. Ronito looked straight in the eyes of June and said this was the last time he was seeing her. She fell to the ground and started crying. David was shocked and did not talk or move. He assumed none would find out ever. June's parents immediately left the place. June wanted to join them but they refused. David's mum was crushed. She was crying hysterically and was using bad words for her son. She was saying that how could he do something so heinous to someone who loved him unconditionally. She was devastated and told David that she didn't wish to see him. The fallout was catastrophic and did not go well for anyone, to be honest. Ronito went into a deep depression and moved in with his parents. He was on the couch of a therapist for the next year. Liusla wanted nothing to do with David and he did not pursue much. He, in fact, was irregular with his visit to his daughter. He paid child support but that was it. June took a student loan to complete her education after her parents practically disowned her for bringing shame to the family. David lost his job after a few months. The board came to know about his action. The board member was a very close family friend of Ronito's father and he recommended David for the job. Even though Ronito's father did not say anything, he was furious and David was fired. He is doing some petty jobs now. June and David are not in contact. Liusla has landed a good job and David's mum is helping her raise the child. David's mum has put everything on her granddaughter now. She had few bad months after the revelation, but now doing quite well. She still does not talk to David. For the last 2 years, there wasn't any party on Boxing Day, there were no family parties, too. But hopefully, there will be more parties soon in the future. What David did was inexcusable. Some people do not deserve forgiveness and David is one among them. Life will be better for Ronito, because he got rid of 2 people who were nothing but snakes hiding beneath his sheet. It will take some time, eventually, he will come around. What do you think about the story? Make sure to subscribe to the channel for new and fresh stories. Please share the feedback and your suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever a new video is uploaded. Please check the other videos in the channel too. Stay healthy and happy. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching.